Welcome to another episode of the Forgiven Nutritionist podcast. And today on this solo episode, I will be talking about the list of ingredients that are on the nutrition label. Recently, the state of California just passed a bill that I'm hoping is going to kind of pave the way for the rest of the country soon to follow. It's a little starting to look like they may be following suit with the UK and some other countries. Right now, the US is the only country that allows a lot of harmful toxical chemicals in our clothing, furniture, household goods like pots and pans, definitely in our food, mattresses, you name it, the US allows it, unfortunately. So, part of this new bill that just got passed in California, 4 harmful food additives were now banned. That includes brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate, propylparaben. And the thing I don't like about propylparaben is that it acts like an estrogen in the body. And so you don't even have to be female to really watch your estrogens. You definitely don't want to have high estrogens. You want to have a good balance of all your hormones, and that includes estrogen. But it acts like estrogen in the body. Another one is red dye number 3, which can cause cancer and behavioral issues like hyperactivity. All of those 4 harmful food additives, those chemicals are linked to serious health conditions, like I mentioned, hyperactivity, cancer, nervous system damage, and an increased risk for cancer. So it's really good that they're finally changing some of those rules and regulations. Another thing that was banned was fiberglass in mattresses. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever touched fiberglass. First of all, if you ever touched fiberglass, aside from the harmful harmful things that can happen with fiberglass, but if you ever touched it just on accident, it is horribly itchy. So who would want that in their mattresses? They've also banned 26 harmful ingredients in cosmetics that are linked to cancer, all of which are PFAs or forever chemicals. PFAS are called forever chemicals because, well, they literally never leave your body. They pretty much do not break down in our body, nor the environment. They build up in our blood and organs, and they're the most persistent toxic compounds in existence. Yes. It's what PFAS are mostly known for Teflon, which, although Teflon technically is no longer allowed, that does not mean that there are not Teflon products still out there or nonstick products out there. So basically anything that's nonstick is a PFA. But these 26 harmful ingredients that were in cosmetics that are linked to cancer, these PFAS, I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you to check out. And it kind of gives a little overview about forever chemicals. So if you're kind of new to what that is, it'll give you a good overview. I'm also going to put a link in the show notes for a clip from a documentary called Dark Waters. And it's all about the history of Teflon and how it came to be and all the things that happened. And along with that, there is a fantastic movie. And when I say it's fantastic, because it's really well done and it's well acted, but there's a movie called The Devil We Know, and it's on YouTube. So I'm going to put a link to that also. So I highly encourage you to look at those, watch them, learn all about PFAS, and kind of really think about what the impacts are that they have on your health. And if you experience any health conditions, maybe you'll think twice about cooking on those nonstick pans. Just saying. Hey everyone, just a quick break to show some gratitude to our sponsors and give you some special deals. Pendulum has probiotics that help heal your gut. They have one specifically designed to help if you suffer from gas and bloating. It's called Butyricum. Butyricum is a targeted probiotic strain that can naturally be found in the gut microbiome. It has been shown to target multiple pathways in the gut that are linked to GI symptoms. All of their products are clinically studied and third-party tested for quality. Check out all of their products by clicking the link in the show notes and use code FORGIVEN for 20% off your first month membership. Okay, so the EWG has, that's Environmental Working Group, they have 2 apps called Skin Deep and one called Healthy Living. There's also another app called Think Dirty, and that one's specific to health and beauty items. But those 3 items, again, Skin Deep is one of them, Healthy Living is another, and Think Dirty. Those apps are all fantastic because they will tell you how toxic your chemicals are, either the chemicals that go under your sink to do your cleaning, or the chemicals you're putting on your face because you think, oh, this bronzer is so beautiful, but it will tell you how toxic it really is. So I encourage you to look those up as well. The reason why I want to mention really have you focus on the list of ingredients is because that to me is a lot more powerful than the nutrition facts, mainly because, which I'm not going to go into this podcast episode, but I will another one. It really dives into what actually is in your food or product for that matter, whatever it is. But we're going to talk mainly about food today. So if you want to know what actually is in your food and what you're eating, you're definitely going to want to look at that list of ingredients. That's a huge clue as to how healthy or unhealthy it really is. And then you need to decide what you want to really be ingesting. Or if it's a health and beauty aid, what you really want to put on your skin or in your mouth, for example, if it's a toothpaste, things like that. So I really want you to start looking at the list of ingredients. I'm going to go over the first example I have, or the one example I have, is some pasta sauce. And I just printed it out on a piece of paper because I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I went to what you would probably do is go to the general area of your grocery store. And I went to my health food section of the grocery store to pick out my brand that I usually buy. Pasta sauce is one item that I do not make from scratch. So there are certain things, again, with pasta sauce, you're almost always going to have citric acid, for example. So you just have to decide what you are willing to accept or not accept in your list of ingredients when it comes to what they put in there. So I went to 2 different pasta sauces. They're both basically either traditional or one is called tomato basil. So I tried to get them as comparable as possible to each other because I wanted to give you sort of an apples to apples look at what there really is. And honestly, with the brands that I found in the traditional area of the grocery store, I was not totally unimpressed. I was a little more impressed than I thought I was going to, but I still did not like the list of ingredients. So with the tomato basil pasta sauce that I usually use, that comes from I call it the health food section, where they usually have a lot of gluten-free food items. It's almost like a little mini shopping or a little mini grocery store within the regular grocery store. But yeah, I usually buy mine, and here's the list of ingredients, and I'll read them off to you. Organic tomato puree, and then in that puree, it gives you that list of ingredients also, which is fantastic, which is water and organic tomato paste, just in case you're ever wondering, because one of the things that's important too when you look at a list of ingredients is sometimes they'll have the word concentrate, and concentrate can include a lot of hidden things. So just keep that in mind also. So this ingredients on here are organic tomato puree, organic tomatoes in juice, organic extra virgin olive oil, organic sauteed onion, organic carrot puree, organic basil, organic salt, organic sauteed garlic, citric acid, calcium chloride, organic fennel, organic black pepper, and organic oregano. Remember how I told you it's citric acid? You'll find that in almost every tomato product. It's an organic acid that's found in various fruits. Again, that's why I said they usually use it for tomato products. You'll definitely find it in there. It's used for various fruits. It's helps. It's usually used for to flavor something or preserve it. And in the case of tomatoes, they're definitely probably using it to preserve it, but it might also help add the flavor. But the calcium chloride, that's just a salt, and that's usually found in, especially canned, even though the type I buy is in a jar, it's still considered a canned fruit and vegetable. So the salt is usually there for preserving, but a lot of times it's also there for just to enhance flavor. But so then you have to look at also if you don't want to have salt in your diet, or they already listed salt, but then they have calcium chloride, and then that means there's 2 salts. So you really have to evaluate if that's something that you would want to eat. So again, that's the tomato basil. And technically, the brand that I buy does not splash organic all over the front. But as you heard, all of those ingredients were organic. Organic tomatoes, organic tomato juice, organic extra virgin olive oil, organic onions, organic fennel, organic black pepper. So it doesn't matter what's on the front of the label. It's what's in that list of ingredients that's most important, because again, the bottle or the jar does not say anything about organic all over the front of the package, but it is on the list of ingredients. So that makes it more important to me. The next brand is the traditional sauce. And here is the list of ingredients for that. Tomato puree, which is water and tomato paste, salt, olive oil, sugar, dehydrated onions, dehydrated garlic, spices, garlic powder, and onion powder. So here's a couple things that are, to me, wrong with this tomato sauce. Well, first of all, yes, there's tomato puree, salt, and olive oil are the first 3 ingredients, but sugar is the 4th. I do not need them to add sugar to my tomato sauce. The next thing I do not like is the word spices. They already put they already put that there's garlic powder and onion powder, dehydrated garlic and dehydrated onions in it. So what are the spices? Why can't they list them out? A lot of times what companies will do, they get these blanket terms that they are allowed to put on a package, and that is just fine by the FDA and all the other, name any other government organization you want to, and it's okay. They can do that. It's much like they're allowed to add the word fragrance to something. The word spices in this traditional sauce could easily house or hold 50 to 100, if not more, different ingredients. And although they're claiming, for example, that MSG may be considered a spice because they're using it to add flavor, MSG, and again, I don't know if that's what they're considering in their spice list, but MSG, for example, when they add things like that to natural flavoring or artificial flavoring or spices, those can come with a whole host of inflammatory problems. So when you see the word spices, I want you to think about what are you willing to take a gamble on? And maybe when you start off, when you first start looking at the list of ingredients on every label, maybe that's something you're not going to focus on. You're not going to worry about the word spices, which is great. That's what I did at the beginning too. I just focused on the word sugar. If I saw sugar, no, that was not anything that we were going to purchase or eat or anything like that. So that's something to really hone in on. And yes, it does take a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, especially when you first start out. But maybe what you could do too is pick something small, like pick one grocery trip that you're going to pick up for one meal, and maybe you're just going to pick up items for dinner, and just start small and pick all the items there for that one meal and look at the list of ingredients on every package. And hopefully most of the items do not even come with a list of ingredients, because an avocado doesn't need a list, because that's what it is. It's an avocado. So the other thing that is nice about the list of ingredients is it can give you a lot of additional information. Like if you are allergic to anything, gluten, for example, that's a huge one. But those will all be listed on the list of ingredients. And you can quickly determine if a product has wheat or some kind of wheat product. So looking at that list of ingredients can be crucial. And usually any kind of allergen components are usually highlighted in some way, or bold or italicized or something in the list of ingredients too. So if you ever see that on that list of ingredients, that just means that it could have the potential to be an allergen for somebody. Maybe not you, but somebody. And so they have to do something like that. Not always, but they do. It can also give you a lot of hidden ingredients information when you look at that list of ingredients, because sometimes people don't realize there are a lot of different types of sugar. Basically, anything with the word tros at the end, T-R-O-S or T-R-O-S-E, or T-O-S-E, that to me immediately says sugar or sweetener. So if that's one thing that you are trying to avoid, especially if you have diabetes or are concerned about blood sugars or are really wanted to take back control of your health, that will definitely help you pick out all the sugars and things in there. It could be sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, maltose, that's another one. Dextrose is another one as well. So sometimes they'll say added sugars versus sugars on the nutrition label. And so that's why I don't even look at that or focus on that, because that can be very confusing for some people. To me, I say you go right for the list of ingredients, because it will list out all the sugars that they have added or that are in that product. So again, anything with the word tros or ros in there, I would definitely say automatically assume that it's a artificial sweetener, some kind of sweetener or sugar. So it also give you the source of the nutrients. So if you are one that eats grains, I am not, but if you are one that eats grains, it'll give you the whole grains, the fiber, vitamins and minerals, and that can really help you identify if that is a product that you want to eat or not. Most people know this already, but a lot of people still don't. I had a client recently who did not really know this, but when they are processing or packaging a food, the item that is listed first is the product that you will find the most quantity of in that food item. So if the first item has the most amount, the last item has the least amount. And the same with a lot of times they will say contains less than 2%, and then it will give another list. So again, the most is again going to be listed first. The least is going to be listed last. And just because they say it has less than 2%, it can still be a huge amount. So trust me. Some products make healthier claims or health claims than other products. And so when you look at the list of ingredients, it's really going to give you a good idea how healthy it really is, because they can put a whole bunch of stuff on the front of that package to lure you in. Because again, they're trying to get you to grab their package off the shelf when it's sitting up against, 500 other products, really. It'll also tell you all of the additives and preservatives that are in the product. I buy very few packaged products or processed products. There is a sour cream that's on the market that I do purchase, and it's Daisy. I can definitely tell you the name for that, and I love it. The only thing when you flip it over the package, it's whole cream, sour cream. That's it. That's all they put in there. So when I see something like that, I am definitely willing to purchase that product. So, but there's no additives, no preservatives, but anytime you see like sodium benzoate, artificial vanilla flavor, high fructose corn syrup, those are all not just flavorings and colorings, but they're preservatives as well. And so the more of those that you have, the more inflammation it can cause in your body, which can lead to cancer, diabetes, joint pain, rheumatoid arthritis, MS, brain fog, a whole host of just about anything. Another thing that you'll see on the list of ingredients, or be able to figure out on the list of ingredients, is thickeners and binders. And those are more like modified cornstarch, pectin, xanthium gum. Those are all usually added to make the item thicker and less runny. For me, you'll find it a lot of times in cheese, especially xanthium gum, which even the sour cream, I don't purchase anything with xanthium gum. It is a completely unnecessary ingredient. And if for some reason I'm purchasing something that's going to be canned, for example, like I do buy canned coconut milk and canned coconut cream. And all of the ones I purchase, whether it's organic or not, because this one brand that I do purchase, none of them have xanthium gum, and guar gum is another one. None of them have any of that because I don't need it. And those are very shelf stable, and you can leave them in the can for quite a while. So if you are one that likes to stack up, you can definitely do it, and you can find it. You just have to look. So a lot of times, unfortunately, when things are processed, there's a lot of things that end up going in the food that are not listed on the list of ingredients. And so that's why for right now, I just am hoping that you'll focus on going into the list of ingredients and delving there. I'll do another podcast another time talking about what actually ends up on your food, the oils that they use sometimes in the machinery. There's still some glyphosate in food products. A lot of granola bars have glyphosate. That's just because of how it's all processed. So right now, just start looking at the list of ingredients to really focus on what the food is that you are choosing to put in there, and we'll worry about some other stuff later. Sometimes you'll also see in the list of ingredients, there are anti-caking agents, emulsifiers, stabilizers. A lot of those, especially when you get shredded cheese, for example. I do not buy my cheese shredded. Any cheese I do purchase is going to be in block form, and I will shred it myself. I also don't add or purchase any cheese with any color added to it. I just purchase, if it's cheddar, for example, I will purchase white cheddar. And I don't need my cheddar cheese to be orange. It does not need the annatto coloring. All of those can be linked to hyperactivity, cancers. They can add estrogens in your body. I don't need any of that. I just need to eat my cheese. So think about the anti-caking agents. I don't need you to shred it. I will shred my own cheese and save my body so I can live to 120. But again, if that's how you want to start off and not focus too much on that, because maybe your whole goal is to just start shopping and eating off of the perimeter of the grocery store. And cheese is pretty much on the perimeter of the grocery store because it is much more of a whole food. I didn't say it is a whole food. I said it's closer to a whole food. It's a lot more of a whole food than the inside aisles of the grocery store. So don't beat yourself up if you're starting off and eating cheese with anti-caking agents and emulsifiers, because there's worse things out there. So when you look at the list of ingredients, it's essential for understanding what's really in the food that you're consuming. and not just what you're consuming, but your whole family and what you're feeding your children. It can help you make informed choices about the foods that you're eating, the nutritional content, the allergens, the additives that are in the product. It helps you compare similar products and choose better products that maybe align with your dietary preferences and needs. And I know that most of this time we were talking about food, and early on in the conversation, I talked about California and how they banned 26 harmful ingredients in cosmetics that were linked to cancer. So one other example I'm going to give you is I used to use a mascara that I did love, I'm not going to lie. But when I found out the list of ingredients and when I really started to pay attention to that, this year I transitioned all of my health and beauty away from big box stores, traditional brand names, even though it was a fancy brand name, because I don't want all those things in and on my body. So this previous mascara that I had been using, and you're thinking, oh, who cares about mascara? It's just your eyelashes. But that can still impact you, and it's close to your eye, and it's in your eye, and it's on your eye, and all of that still gets in your body. It is very close, whether you want to believe it or not. It really does. But this one mascara that I purchased, again, that I did used to love, and I used for a lot of years, it had propylene glycol in it, which is a chemical solvent that causes allergies and immunotoxicity. So I don't know if you experience any kind of skin issues, especially around your eyes, but think about maybe your mascara. And it really doesn't even have to just happen on your eyes if you're using a mascara like that. It can happen anywhere. When you get some kind of allergy or some kind of toxicity in your body, just because you're putting something on your eye, you can still get something on your leg or your foot because of what you're putting on your eye. So think about that. There's also another ingredient that was in this mascara, and that can cause flu-like symptoms. It'll give you a metallic taste. It can give you a fever and chills. It causes aches and tightness in the chest with a cough. So, I mean, when you have a chemical solvent that causes allergies and another product that can cause all those aches and pains and tightness in the chest with a cough, and that's just 2 of the probably 45 ingredients that are on this mascara versus the mascara that I use now. And I will be happy to put a link to this in the show notes. The mascara that I use now, the complete list of ingredients, there's probably close to the same amount. But it's all items like vitamin E. There's a couple different brands or a couple different variations. And this one has bran wax, another vitamin B. There's seaweed in it. There's aloe juice, coffee beans, cocoa, thyme, lavender, golden seal, marijuana, which is an oil. It's a berry. And so you look at that list of ingredients versus the other one. You definitely want to make sure that anything that you choose, you look at the list of ingredients, especially when you are trying to take back your health, especially when you're really making progress. You have to start somewhere. So even if you just start with your mascara, but I really want you to focus on your food and think about the list of ingredients and what you're actually putting in your body, because it can make a huge difference, especially to the longevity that you are going to experience in the next coming years, but in 20 and 30 years from now, what your life is going to kind of look like. So I just want to say thanks again for listening to this solo edition of the Forgiven Nutritionist podcast, where I talk about the list of ingredients. And in the show notes, there's going to be a link where you can set up your free 20-minute consultation with me if you're ready to start taking back your health. And one of the things that we can definitely go over is the list of ingredients and on some of the products that you're currently eating and using. So thanks again for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Are you looking for a good probiotic? Seed DS1 Daily Synbiotic has both prebiotic and probiotic. It supports digestive health, heart health, skin health, and gut health, including those who suffer with IBS. Their products are clinically studied and third-party tested for quality, and I think you'll be impressed with their eco-friendly packaging. Click the link in the show notes and use my code FORGIVEN for 15% off your first month supply. If you want to continue learning and hearing all things nutrition for your mind, body, and spirit, click like, subscribe, or favorite me on whatever podcast platform you use. Or you can find me at ForgivenNutritionist.com. This podcast was designed to educate, inspire, and empower you to achieve your health and wellness goals with your current healthcare provider. It is not meant to diagnose or treat any illness or medical condition or take the place of any treatments from your current healthcare providers.